Now, we will tackle about ASEAN integration. ASEAN integration has become a buzzword in recent years. When we say buzzword, it's a word that became popular, propelling conversations among expertise in various disciplines and perhaps eliciting questions among the general public. So, in the past years, nahimo siyang topic sa mga expertise ang ASEAN integration, and it came up of a question, what really is integration and what is ASEAN integration? In simple terms, we can look at integration as a pathway toward unification in various spheres. When we say unification, process of being united or being a whole. Political, economic, and social. Some theories suggest that integration is made possible by certain conditions such as increased level of social integration and shared ideological patterns amidst of diverse society experiencing fast-paced economic growth. In the case of ASEAN, we can arguably trace back integration to establishments in the 1960s, although more formally in the conceptualization of the ASEAN Vision 2020 in 1997. When we say arguably, it may be argued or used to qualify the statement of an opinion or belief. In this meeting, leaders reaffirmed their commitment to Bangkok Declaration in 1967 and re-articulated the aspirations of the Kuala Lumpur Declaration in 1971. It is also where they called for a more consolidated effort to forge an ASEAN community. A milestone in the journey toward ASEAN integration was the development and adoption of the ASEAN Economic Blueprint, or we say ASEAN Secretariat at 2008, to advance the vision of an ASEAN Economic Community, or AEC. The AEC has the following characteristics. One of these is a single market and production, free flow of goods, services, investment, and capital, and also skilled labor, prioritizing food, agriculture, and forestry as integration sectors. Second, competitive economic region, introduction of fair competition policy, consumer protection, intellectual property rights, and infrastructure development, taxation, and of e-commerce. The third is equitable economic outcomes, developing small and medium enterprises, initiative for ASEAN integration. And the last, integration into the global economic, maintaining ASEAN's centrality, participation in global supply networks. There have been various opinions before the AEC was launched by Hunt 2014. Some thought that this will to higher competition within the labor market and will pose some challenging in ensuring that labor force is ready for this competition. Others believe that there is need to ensure that local products are of high quality, as this will compete not only with local counterparts but also counterparts from nearby sea nations.
Good day everyone, my name is Miguel Narciso and this is our report. So, there is no single Asian idea of regionalism. Bakugang He and Tanakoshi Inoguchi, regionalism has become increasingly visible alongside globalization. Scholars such as Tanaka and Inoguchi in 1996 argued that the post-Cold War era pressured international reaction, creating conditions where cooperations among mega-warring states became more common. Instead of resolving conflicts through large-scale wars, countries now rely more on global institutions like the United Nations and on regional mechanisms, such as peacekeeping initiatives and regional trade organizations. While conflicts still exist, especially territorial and political disputes, they are increasingly managed through diploma, di, di, diplomacy, diplomacy rather than warfare. Another defining features of this era in the growth of regions cooperations to pursue shared political, and economic and and regionalism. It's linked to the end of the Cold War. Countries countries are more open to collaborations, especially in economics. Development, cultural identity has also gained importance. Han- Antitu- Institutions in 1980 argues that power has shifted from the West to groups of nations sharing similar cultures, which he calls civilizations. This cultural alignment uh, strengthened regional bonds. Uh, there's 2017 in discussing CAARC explains that regionalism provides a space for regional arrangement in a burdened global system. Global problems requiring regional solutions, the collapse of Cold War alignment, the need for resilient and a non-dominant growing regional insecurity, the best address in international. So, so what is regionalism? Regionalism is refers to countries in the same geographical are working together to solve common political, economical, security, and social problems. It has become more important in modern world because globalization has made countries more interconnected but also more variable to shared challenge. Global divided. In the contemporary world, the buzzword used to pertain to this stratification among nations is the term global divided. First, second, and third worlds. After World War II, the United States and the Soviet Un- Union, which were wartime allies, have entered a Cold War, a state of political tension and rivalry from the mid 1940s to early 1990s. Several contemporary works have revived this event in the lights of post-war events. These include the rights of Goddess Zubok Westard, among others. In a nutshell, the World War came forth due to political doubts among wartime allies. For instance, the United
has always been wary of the Soviet Union's communist leavings, and it has stated its position to contain the latter's expansion. The Cold War yielded two chief political factions. The Western Bloc comprised by the industrial o capitalist US and the North Atlantic Alliance NATO, which is include United Kingdom, Canada, France, Italy, among others, and the Eastern Bloc, Albania, United Kingdom, Canada, France, Italy, among others, and the Eastern Bloc, led by the communities referred to as First World countries, while the Eastern Bloc has been referred to as a Second World countries. So, unsa gunin ning NATO? Ang NATO is North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Para mas makuan nato masabtan, ang NATO is a political and military alliance of countries from Europe and North America.
First, second, and third worlds. The concept, the first, second, and third worlds that emerged during Cold War. The first world refers capitalized, industrialized countries aligned with the United States and NATO. The second world includes communist and socialist countries led by the Soviet Union, such as Eastern Europe and some Asian nations. The third world consists of newly independent developing countries in Asia, Africa, and Latin America that were often poor, underdeveloped, and not formally aligned with either major power bloc. The term Third World was first used in 1952 by Alfred, comparing these nations to be third. A state of the French Revolution ignored, exploited, and marginalized over time. The classification highlighted global equality, political alignment, and economic development rather than geography alone. So, ang pasabot ani is ang first, second, ug third world kay mga terminologies nga gigamit sa unang panahon sa Cold War. So, ang mga sunod base sa political alignment o economic development. So, ang example ani is kanang first world. Muna siya ikuan United States, Japan, o United Kingdom. Ang second world is Soviet Union. Muna siya ikuan stop sa agudjesis. Ang second world kay mga nasod nga ang second world kay kuan na siya Soviet Union or kaniadto China or Cuba. Ang third world kay Philippines, India o Nigeria. Mura to.
So, my report is about the Brandt Report and its criticism. So, in the 1980s, a group called the Independent Commission on International Development Issues. So, anang 1980s, gitawag siya og Independent Commission on International Development Issues. Then, Willy Brandt of West Germany studied the world economy. So, si Willy Brandt, gikan sa siya Germany,
studyhan niya ang world economy of unsay kanang issue ana. And then their findings were written in a document called Brandt Report. So sa iyang Willy Brandt, ang findings sa iyang pag-study is gitawag siya og Brandt Report. The report divided the world into two main parts. So sa iyang report, gi-divide siya og duha ka world, which is the first is the global north. Then the second is global south. So the global north is countries that are richer, more developed, and have smaller population. So the global north is, for example, sa global north is America, Japan. So kana sila nga nasod is na-develop siya, rich na siya nga country. Then gamay ra siya og population. Then the global south is, for example, sa south is Philippines. So ang Philippines nga country is siya pobre, which is gamay ra yang na-develop. So less developed of have larger, so dako yang populations. So mo siyang pobre ang Pilipinas kay large ang iyang population. So napobre siya tungod kay daghan ang population sa Pilipinas. So, the division is shown by an imaginary line called the Brandt line, which separates rich country from poor countries. So ang ang Brandt line, which is gi-separate, so gibulag ang rich country o ang poor country. And then Brandt report is that both rich and poor countries depend on each other. So sa Brandt report daw, ang dato og pobre nga countries nga ra gyapon sila nga depend on each other. And then rich countries should help poor countries by sharing resources, technology, and financial support. So dato og pobre nga countries is siya sharing resources. So share gyapon sila og resources of technology and financial support. For example is like sa financial support is which is scholarship. So scholarship sa sa laing nasod, like for example sa Amerika, and then mo share po ang America of scholarship there sa Philippines. So nag-share siya of financial support, like scholarship para sa mga estudyante nga matabangan. So in the 20s, in the 2000s, James Bernard Killigan wrote another report called The Ants, which explained how the new global economy. So si James Bernard Killigan sulat siya og laing report nga gitawag siya og The Ants. Gikan siya og about sa global economy. So the ants means helping each other para ma-improve ang global economy. So ang ants represent siya of helping each other. And then Daniel Snyder summarized the Brandt report as promoting single band economic system where even national policies like tax could be influenced internationally. So si Daniel Snyder, gi-summarize niya ang Brandt report and promote siya of single bond economy, which is national policies. So sa kuan is gakuan siya og silbi buhis nga kuan sa tanang nasod. So dapat og sa dapat sa mga negosyo dapat jud na ay buhis. Muna ila ang patakaran to be policies. And then the report also supported ideas like zero economic growth and population growth could help solve poverty. So basic human needs, labor-based technology, advanced machine. So ang basic human needs, so ang kuan sa mga tao needs is ang labor kay the base sa kuan technology o mga advanced machine. So Brand report was criticized. William Dr. Graff said that although the commission claimed to represent both rich North and poor South countries represented political elites. So, ang Brand report, gakuan siya ni criticized yun ni William Graff nga ang ga-represent siya sa rich o poor countries na gakuan siya sa issue nga political elites nga kini siya nga sa north kuan ra gina siya kanang dato ra gid na siya dira nga country din sa south is pobre ra gid siya nga country, so which is gibulag ang dato og pobre, so ga-represent siya political elites. Thank you, that's my.
So next is the Brand line and the main ideas of the Brand Report 1980, which focused on global economic inequality between the global north developed countries and global south developing countries. The report proposed creating one world economic system encouraging zero growth and population control to address underdevelopment, prioritizing basic needs and appropriate technology, promoting solar energy, and strengthening institutions like IMF and World Bank. So the Brand line, which divided into the North developed industrialized nations and the South developing nations, it symbolized global economic disparities. So, in summarized by Daniel Snyder in AIR News Surveys, it describes a world economic system affecting countries, taxations, list concepts like zero growth and controlling overpopulation to fix underdevelopment, basic needs and appropriate technology, focused on labor over technology. Promotion of solar energy and strengthening the IMF World Bank system. So, the report also received criticism. William D. Graff, 1981, argued that although the Brand Commission represented both North and South, it mainly reflected the views of political elites, not different social classes. He also noted that the report's recommendations were not entirely new and that it failed to fully consider historical causes of inequality between the North and South. So, criticism of the Brand Report. Economist by William D. Graff criticized the report in the Socialist Register 1981, arguing that the report is influenced by Northern and Southern political elites not representing true classes. It lacks historical context and doesn't analyze why the North and South divide text. Its recommendations aren't new and ignore deeper global dynamics.